So yeah, the recurring revenue roadmap. I'm going to teach you how to hit 10K plus months in just 90 days. Now that doesn't mean that you have to do this in 90 days. You could take longer to do this. You could take all year to do this if you want to. But I'm going to show you that it is possible with the right offer strategy, the right business model. I'm going to show you that it is possible to get there in 90 days or less. Okay, or less. So this is a very exciting. So I'm going to simplify it for you. And this is really going to help you if up until this point in your business, you've been craving consistency of income, of client flow, of cash flow. If you've been craving peace of mind, nervous system regulation, yeah. And if you've been craving that like safety in your income so that you're not riding that roller coaster of 1 minute it's up, then it's down. We don't really know where the next client's coming from. We don't really know how to forecast like next month and the month after and the month after. And I know that when you get into a place in your business where you can forecast, where you can have like that knowledge and that like certainty that when you look at your future forecast, your sales pipeline, you already know that you've got revenue banked in. Okay, I'm going to show you how simple it gets to be. So if those things all feel good, I am very confident to say that this is probably going to be the most important training that you've attended for a long, long time. A long time. Because I can remember exactly where I was when this all fell into place for me. And I finally could see why I'd been hustling hard, why I had been feeling overwhelmed and a bit exhausted. Yeah, like I was on that like income roller coaster. I did a lot of live launching. I don't know how much live launching you girlies do, but I was doing 5 day challenges, pouring my heart and soul, blood, sweat, tears, everything into my launches. And they were great. I had a launch that was £107,000, definitely a very successful launch. But if the only way to make money is to show up and pour everything you've got into that launch and then have to leave to the side your family, your friends, your hobbies, your self-care, just so that you can pour everything that you've got into that launch, like from where I was looking at it, it wasn't worth it. It might have been a 107K launch and it looked great on the front of a carousel. Whoop-de-doo, look what I've done. Great. And I'm not sniffing at that money. It was great, but I didn't want to build a business that felt like my old corporate job. As you know, I used to manage a lot of money in my corporate career. I ran a budget of 100 million a year. My team had to sell 2 million pounds every single week. And so the hustle culture, the sales drive, I've got that drive in me. I wouldn't have been able to do that job if I didn't. But I left there to get away from that, not build a business that felt like that. And at the beginning, when you start your business, of course, you've got to work hard. Of course, you have, like you've got to get visible, you've got to build your authority, you've got to build your network. Of course, you've got to work hard when you start a business. But if you've been running your business for a little while, you want to know that that's becoming easier. You want to know that you're getting your calendar back, not having to look in your calendar and have it feel worse than it was when you were in a 9 to 5. Yeah. And just out of interest, like how many of you are in a 9 to 5 like right now? If you're in a 9 to 5, if you're straddling, then this is really going to help you because handing your notice in on a job, you need to feel certain. Yeah. You've either got to sort of do what I did and just jump and hope, or you've got to build in that certainty. And so anything other than jump and hope or certainty is just not going to be possible, right? So this that I'm going to teach you tonight is really going to help you to feel safe and certain in your business. Okay. So let's anchor you into what you really, really want. Do you want to keep reinventing your strategy or have a long-term reliable strategy? And I know that that sounds like a ridiculous question because I'm pretty certain that you've all just written down on your notepad, I want a long-term reliable strategy rather than constant reinvention. But the reason that I'm asking you that question is because pretty much every conversation that I have with women that want to grow their income and build a sustainable, reliable business tell me that they are flip-flopping between different strategies, different offers, different price points, changing up their niche, changing up their ideal client, thinking that, oh my God, I've got to keep focusing on like my content pillars. And everyone tells me I've got to niche down and be super specific. And one minute I'm told I need to launch a group, and the next minute I need to build a course, and then I need to build a package. And every strategy works, right? They all work. And that's why it's so easy to flip flop between all of them. What I would recommend is that you choose one and you get really clear and really dialed in on it. And that's what I'm going to help you to do tonight. Okay. So creating new offers and assets all the time, or offers you become known for, right? Offers you become known for helps you build your brand, helps you build your reputation, helps anchor you into your authority, helps your audience to really recognize you as being that trusted expert. I know if you asked all of my audience, if you added up all my social media, all my email list, you added everybody up together and polled them and said, what's the number one thing that you think of when you think of Rach? I know the number one thing that they would say would be sales, because that's what I'm known for. And you only get known for something when you do it repetitively. But yet I hear so many women, maybe some of you have said it to me recently, talk about changing the offer, doing something different, and one minute it's this and next minute it's that. And so again, if you're dancing between different strategies, different offers, it's very difficult to become known for one thing. Third thing on this list, do you want constant sales pressure or stackable, scalable revenue? Now, obviously, I'm being silly with these questions. Of course, you want the things that are on the right. You want the stackable, scalable revenue, but that hustle mindset, that hustle culture that social media gets us into kind of like forces us into feeling like we've got to do all the DMs and we've got to have all the conversations and we've got to do all the things, and we've got to be constantly on it and on it and on it. And actually, what I'm teaching you tonight is how to stack the revenue, how to scale the revenue, okay? So that you come away from that feeling of pressure. I've already talked about the live launch anxiety. I've definitely been in that roller coaster state. And what I'm teaching you tonight is sales on repeat. So I want you to get really, really anchored, not just into these questions that I've asked you. I want you to just take a deep breath in, like right now. Just take it in with me now. Right? Take a few big, deep exhales. And I want you to really think about how you want the rest of 2026 to play out. How do you really want it to look? How do you want it to feel? When you sit down at your laptop each day, when you roll up your sleeves and get stuck into to what you've got to get done that day, your task list, yeah, your the way that you show up, whether that's morning, noon, afternoon, evening, it doesn't matter. When you sit down to do your job, to focus on your business, do you want to be feeling like you're in shallow breaths, slightly freaking out, low key anxiety, wondering where the next client is coming from? How on earth is this is ever going to get any easier? You don't want to be that, right? I want you to really anchor into ease, flow, feminine selling, not masculine, not push. We're not pushing, we're pulling, we're attracting. Yeah, and it all comes down to everything you want starts with the foundation of your business model. Okay. And that is what we're going to talk about tonight. So, how do you usually make strategic decisions? Yeah. How do you usually make strategic decisions about your business? Do you think about how you feel about the doing, the execution? Are you more into like, if I had to execute on that, how would that feel? Are you normally led by how you feel about the outcome? In which case, can you overlook the doing for the sake of the result? That's a little bit of me, and probably some of you will recognize this. I can say, I'll just get through this because I want the outcome. I want what's on the other side, and I'll suck it up and I'll tolerate the tough stuff because I want the outcome. Yeah. Or do you make strategic decisions on how you feel about your ability, on how trusted you feel in your capability? I want you to really think about that. How do you usually make your strategic decisions? Is it a feeling? Yeah. Do you use data? I love making my decisions based out of data. In fact, I've just come away from an in-person client meetup. My client literally lives 5 minutes up the road. So I've been up at her house today, whiteboarding out her growth plan, and she kept using the word feel. I feel like our leads are down. I feel like our pipeline is empty. And I kept having to correct her and say, no, 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 you can't run a business on feeling. You cannot run a business on feeling. I want you to run a business based on data, based on logic, based on strategic plans. Okay. But it's just worth thinking about, what is it that usually drives your strategic decision making? Yeah. I don't need to know the answer. I just want you to know the answer. I just want you to reflect. Okay. So if you are new in my world, and I know that some of you are, I'll tell you just a little tiny bit about me so that you know that you can trust what I'm about to teach you. I am very proud at this point in my business. I'm in my 10th year. Very proud to say that I have taught over 9,300 people how to sell without sleaze. I am an absolute leader on freedom first strategies. That is what I lead with at every opportunity. I did not leave my 130K corporate job to build a business that looks like a job. Yeah, I want freedom. I want choice. That is number one. I love to travel. I love to be with my family. I love self-care. I love nothing more than to go and sit and have a spa day and have a massage and a facial, put me in the nail salon, pedicure. I love all of that. That is my favorite day. Yeah. So I'm always about freedom first strategies. And the two freedom first strategies that I will always focus on is group programs and funnels. They are the two things that are the biggest needle movers when I'm helping women to build a freedom business. I'm a podcast host. So I've got the podcast, Becoming an Online Sales Queen. If you are not a subscriber of the podcast, please go check it out. It's on all the podcast platforms and we put it on YouTube. Comes out every Wednesday. So yeah, I'd love to have you listen to the podcast. I'm the founder of the Sales Queen Content Club. We've just hit 160 members, where you get content from me and my team every single week. And there's some little courses inside there and some content libraries, Reels library, Carousel library. I know a lot of you here are in the content club. I see you logging in and getting your content in there every week, which I absolutely love. I've got a huge goal with Content Club. I want to get it to 1,000 members. I want it to be the best content club on the internet. So if you know anybody that needs a content club, please do tell them about it. I've helped my clients to make over £4 million already and counting. I want to help my clients to make 100 million. Yeah. And I hope that some of those millionaires will be you. And I've sold over 2 million in sales in my business personally so far. And in my corporate career, I managed £100 million budget in the last year that I was there. Just before I left, I got emailed the spreadsheet that actually adds up all 57 of my team and adds up their revenue every single week for 52 weeks. And it came to £204 million, which, sorry, £104 million, which I still can't believe to this day. We had to sell like £2 million every single week. Crazy. So there's just a few fun facts about me. If you want to know anything else, make sure that you're following along on Instagram, because that's where I drop all the juicy stuff. So now we're going to get into it. This is one of the best models I have ever built. This is where we're going to start. It's called the Coaching Growth Roadmap. But if you're not a coach, don't worry, because this applies to literally every woman in business that I've ever supported. And I support women across all different niches: coaches, mentors, VAs, social media managers, beauty professionals, aesthetics, wellness, all the things. And this roadmap really looks at 4 different areas of growth, and it looks at 4 different drivers of your results. First one being belief, second one, authority, third one, your ability to implement, and the fourth one, strategy. Now, we're going to focus mostly on strategy tonight, but this model really does help you to see where your blind spots are. So if we just start with the aspiring coach, This is somebody, so let's just say aspiring businesswoman. This is somebody that's maybe not yet full time in business. Maybe they're just getting qualified, getting certified in something. Maybe they are straddling a job and a business at the same time. They're building their experience. They've got few or no clients and low income. It could be low or no income, yeah? They're aspiring. And so, where they are on this matrix is they are low in authority, because you can see the arrow is up here, right? So, this is high authority. So, this is low in authority because they haven't built it yet. They're aspiring. They are low in self belief, yeah, because the arrow is pointing up here. They are low in implementation, and they are low in strategy. So when you're starting out, we all start out low. I started out with low authority, belief, strategy, and implementation. I started out with nothing. No money, no clients, no social media, no email list, no nothing. And so that's an aspiring businesswoman. Then you've got a lifelong learner. And I meet this kind of woman quite a lot, quite frequently. This is somebody that's high on authority. Now, of course, she's high on authority because she's learning a lot. She's low on self belief. That's why she seeks out the learning to top up her self trust, self belief, her leadership. She's low in implementation because she hasn't got time to implement, because she keeps telling herself that she's got to go and do more courses, learn more things, get more qualified. And she's high on strategy because she's learning it, but she's not implementing it. Okay. So if you are a lifelong learner, then I want you to recognize that you are stuck in a cycle. And when you're a lifelong learner, you're never actually going to make a lot of money. You're never going to attract a lot of clients because although you've got all the strategy, you're low on implementation. And although you're high on authority, so your talent is there, you're a very skilled, talented person, if you are not implementing what you know, if you're not coming at what you do implement, if you're not coming at it with high belief, because your belief is down here, that's why you're seeking out the learning, that is going to keep you stuck. Okay. So if you are a lifelong learner, and if you're feeling called out, please know this is not personal. I'm just helping you to see where you are on your journey. Okay. If you're a lifelong learner, very talented, very knowledgeable, but that talent and knowledge needs to be put to good use to help your audience, to help your clients. And it can't do that if you're not implementing the strategy. Okay. Then we've got the next phase of growth, which is the gladiator. So this is somebody who is hustling hard, probably overworking, quite possibly feeling very frustrated, makes herself wrong a lot of the time. She has inconsistent income and her content is often very scattered. No real strategy going on, right? So a coaching gladiator, she's high on belief. She's like, I'm going to do this. I'm going to show up. I'm doing it. I'm doing all the things. I'm going to work really hard. I'm going to try a bit of what she does and a bit of what she does and a bit of what she does. I'm going to do all the things. I'm going to do it all. I'm going to throw all the spaghetti at the wall. One of it will stick and it will all come good. I'm going to work hard. There is absolutely no denying the effort from the gladiator stage of growth. High on belief, low on strategy, flip flopping between strategies, high on implementation, that's why she's exhausted, low on authority because she doesn't double down on where she's brilliant. She just, a lot of the time, looks at what's working for somebody else, does a little bit of, okay, I'm going to mirror that. That looks like that's working. I'll try a bit of that. And then she might see somebody else the following week and go, oh, that didn't work. I'm going to try a bit of that. So I call it strategy abandonment. You might have been using amazing strategies, but they don't stick because you don't stick with them. So if you recognize yourself as a gladiator, everything that I'm about to share with you is going to help you fill in the blind spots, fill in the gaps. Because although you've got great implementation, great self-belief, what I'm going to share with you is going to push you up this strategy line. Okay. Now, where does that push you? It pushes you into the best box on the model, which is the coaching goddess. Why is she a goddess? She's calm. She's peaceful. She's got it all going on. She's got reliable revenue, structured offers. She's systemized. She's scaling. She's got team. She's got process. She can take time off in her business without everything falling apart. She's high on self belief. She's high on authority, high on strategy, and high on implementation. This is where we want to get to, girls. Okay? We want to be working on your belief, working on your authority, sharing that authority publicly, having a strategy, not just one that I teach you. It's not about what I teach you. What I teach you is always applicable to lots of different women in lots of different businesses. What I would love to do is help to give you a strategy and then help you personalize it for you. That's what's going to take you to your 10K, 20K, 30K recurring revenue. Okay. So if you feel like you're a goddess, you're at the goddess stage now, congratulations. Yeah. Maybe what would be really good is if you could acknowledge where you are on this model by popping it into the comments for me. And then when we get into Q&A, we can come back and have a look at that, and maybe I can give you some support around that. Okay. Self-awareness is your personal power. Yeah, self awareness is your personal power, because we cannot fix what we don't know. We cannot work on what we're not aware of. Okay, so the more that you can recognize where you are, what your blind spots are, what your opportunities are, the faster you'll be able to move forward. Okay, the faster you'll be able to move forward. The more aware I've become over the years of where my strengths are, where my not so good points are, the more I've been able to go and hire the right people, bring in the right strategies, let things go that aren't working, stop barking up the wrong tree, stop working hard when really I want to work smart. Yeah. So, common mistakes that I see with business model and offers, right? These are the biggest things I want you to avoid so that we can get you this recurring revenue. Not linking each offer so that there's a natural ascension for your clients. And I have definitely been in this place. I remember the exact moment that it all fell into place. I was in Barbados. I was on a retreat. I was sat in this little like pergola type thing in this little outdoor room with all these other girls. And my mentor asked me a question that blew up my brain, because I realized in that moment I couldn't scale my business. I thought I was going into a year of scaling. It was December 2022. I thought 2023 was going to be my year. I was all set up. And I had this absolute flash of light. I had an out of body moment, literally, when I realized my offers don't make sense. They don't speak to each other. I can't keep my clients loyal. I can't make use of upsell, downsell, cross sell. I can't do any of that. What the hell have I been building? I need to blow all this up and start again. I literally need to tear down my whole business. And that is what I did. I spent January to March of 2023 literally with my head in my laptop building, 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 building. And what I built then is still what I sell now, because it just makes sense. And I'm gonna give you a little like transparency like walkthrough, which I don't give very often. Okay. So big mistake is not linking each offer so that there's a natural ascension. And then the second point I've just mentioned, not considering downsell opportunities too. Third point, abandoning the strategy. Yeah, so shiny object syndrome, thinking that, oh, there's got to be a better way to do this. Maybe I'll just get rid of that thing that I tried last week and start something new this week. That is a huge reason why women aren't making the money that they deserve to be making, because they don't give the strategy long enough to really work. Every strategy works, every single one. I promise you, there isn't a single strategy out there that a business coach is touting as the best one. There isn't a single one that doesn't work. Your job is to find the one that works for you, the one that feels good for you, for the way that you want to live, for the way that you want to run your business, for the CEO that you want to be. It's not ever about me telling you, well, you've got to just do it like this. You've just got to do it like me. Yeah. I've had lots of girls book in for like VIP days with me over the years and start the day by saying, tell me what to sell. I'm like, I can't tell you what to sell. We're going to work out what feels good for you. And we're going to start from what kind of life you want to live. How many weeks of the year do you want to work? How many hours of the day do you want to work? What does your dream week look like? Yeah, have you got kids? Do you need to plan around half terms and holidays? Do you travel a lot? Do you need to be able to plan around that? Like, your life should dictate your business model, not the other way around. Yeah. So every strategy works. What you've got to do is find the one that feels good. Another mistake, not seeding mid and high ticket offers inside low ticket offers. So you see a lot of people out there, me included, I do this. I sell low ticket offers. I sold a sales sprint for £2.22. I sold it to about 1,200 people. I paid for ads, and people would come to me and go, Rach, £2.22. Are you mad? How on earth are you selling a £2.22 offer? And the reason I was selling a £2.22 offer is because the people that came through that £22 offer ended up spending multiple hundreds once they came through that 22-day sales sprint for £2.22, because it built trust and authority. It showed them what else I could do to support them. And all of the sales invitations were made on the back end, not the front end. So you need to be able to seed your bigger offers inside your low ticket offers. Your low ticket offers are where you build trust. Your mid and high ticket offers are where you build income. Okay. Another mistake, building random freebies that aren't aligned with the offer that you want to sell. This is all about reverse engineering. So ask yourself, do you have right now random freebies that you created because you thought your audience wanted it? You thought, oh, that freebie will get me a big email list. Great. But then it doesn't actually sell you anything because the email sequence is either not there, not created, or it like vicariously links to an offer that remotely might align with what that freebie is about. And therefore, because it's not aligned, it's not a natural growth plan for your audience, they download the freebie, but they never buy anything. So that freebie is building your email list, but that's all it's doing. So you could never run paid ads. Not that I recommend everybody runs paid ads, but you could never run paid ads, and you'd never want to put blood, sweat, and tears into your organic content to drive people to that freebie, because all you're going to get in return is an email address. Now, I know that there's people out there that would teach you, build your email list, get it up to thousands. You need an email list. It's a great asset, and it is. But I would much rather have an email that goes on to spend 200, 300, 500 pounds with me, and then in 6 months' time says, Rachel, can I come and join your mastermind? That's an email address I really want to have. And that's an email address that I would spend money on a paid ad campaign to buy in. Yeah. So we don't want random freebies. We want reverse engineered freebies that align with what you want to sell. And the final one on here is dancing all over the place and never truly nailing the high level view of your offers. And I'm literally going to show you more about that in a minute. Next, I want to just give you some of the common mistakes on sales strategy. So these mistakes were business model and offers. This is what I want you to avoid when it comes to how to sell your offers. Getting bored of selling the same thing over and over and over, so that you never truly become known and trusted for one signature offer. I speak to girlies all of the time who say, well, yeah, but every time I show up to sell it, I describe it in a different way. I use a different strap line for it. I make the content look different because I don't want to sound boring. I don't want my audience to think, oh, she talked about that last week. And the problem with that is they cannot get to know you for that signature offer because you don't give them the opportunity to really get to know that that's who you are and what you sell. That's what your genius is. Yeah. What I would love more than anything is for there to be a room of 1,000 women and somebody gets on the stage and says, Everybody, can you just answer me this one question? You know that Rachel Howarth, what is the number one thing that you know her for? Do you know what I want their answer to be? Scaling an evergreen group to £1 million. That's what I want their answer to be. And so if you ever see me sharing content or talking about my brand and my authority without talking about that, I want it to kick me up the arse, because I know I've built authority on sales, but I actually want to build my brand around being an expert on scaling an evergreen group to 1 million. And I want people to know that when they come and work with me inside programs like my mastermind, that that is exactly what we're doing. Okay, so I want you to think about that. What do you want a room of 1,000 women to say about you? What do you want to be really, really known for? Write that thing down, put a highlight around it, put a post-it note on the fridge, put it on your mirror where you do your makeup. Make sure that you are talking about that thing that you want to be known for every single day. And make sure that your signature offer is also aligned to that thing that you want to be known for. Okay. Second one on the list, thinking that selling low ticket will get you volume. Just because something is cheap doesn't mean that they will come. There is somebody for every single price point. I could sell an hour of my time. I could sell it for £100, and I could sell it for £100,000. The only difference is not the price, it's the type of person who would buy it. And just because I sell it for 100 doesn't mean that I would get loads of volume, because the version of that hour that I sell for 100,000 might be so anchored in the result and the identity. And it might be that the person who would spend 100,000, I mean, I'd like to know who this person is that would book me for 100,000 for an hour, that person is so sure that I am the only person who can help them, that they would easily drop 100K on that hour. And then I wouldn't need the volume. Yeah, so it's not always a thing that selling low ticket will get you volume. Sometimes you will get more volume by holding your nerve on the price. Okay. Third point, it's a mistake to avoid high ticket for fear of premium price, meaning that you are then expected to deliver on promises you can't keep. Let me say that again, because I hear this a lot. Rachel, I can't sell it for that price because then they will expect me to deliver X, and I'm not sure I can deliver X. And that is never going to be the customer's fault. That's never even going to be the fault of your messaging and how you communicate your value. That is only an issue with the offer that you've designed, because we should not be creating offers that deliver, or say that they deliver, an outcome that you don't feel confident you could give someone. Every promise I make, every program I build, I get fully aligned with what can I truly promise that I can do for that group of people. And if I don't believe I can do it, I've got no point, I've got no place selling it. If you don't really believe that your program is going to get the transformation that it says it will on the sales page, do not sell it. Do not sell it. Scale the promise back to something that you can really get behind. Yeah, don't just sell high ticket because somebody told you to. Make sure that if you put a premium price, that you are positioned as premium and that your promise is premium and that you can fully get behind it. Okay. Next one, not building a sales funnel to bring in high, mid, and low ticket buyers. That is one of the biggest mistakes I see. Girlies saying to me, yeah, I promised myself in 2025 I'd build a funnel, still haven't done it. And I'm over here in the spa bringing in 20 sales a day. Right. And that's not me being, sort of making it up just for the joke of it. That's true. That's absolutely true. I gave a talk last week, no, the week before actually, at an in-person event. And the first slide I put up was what do all these pictures have in common? And it was me up a mountain in France in January. It was me on a boat in Barbados. It was me on Christmas Day drinking a glass of champagne in the morning like a naughty girl. And the other one was, what was the other one? Me somewhere, oh, in Mexico. What did all those four pictures have in common? I made money in all of those places. My funnel delivered me sales whilst I was enjoying Christmas Day, while I was on a boat in Barbados with no Wi Fi, while I was up a mountain in the Alps with no Wi Fi. Yeah, I was enjoying my life. My funnel was funneling in sales. That is one of the biggest mistakes I see. And the only reason that people don't do it is because they're scared of the tech or they can't afford the time. And I'm over here going, no, crazy, because investing the time up front gives you a life of freedom. Yeah, this is a real big one for me. And then the final one on here is getting stuck with cohort groups rather than evergreen. Because when you launch a cohort that starts and stops, you force yourself to have to launch it over and over and over and over again. Now, sometimes the best evergreen groups are the ones that have been a cohort to begin with. So I'm not saying cohorts are terrible, don't do them, but don't build your freedom on cohort groups because that isn't freedom. Having to launch something over and over and over isn't freedom. Evergreen groups are freedom because you can build a sales funnel to bring you evergreen group sales every single week. Whereas the minute you've got oh, that doesn't start until June the 12th, a funnel can't bring you in clients for that because there would be a point where that funnel can't funnel because the timing doesn't work. So evergreen groups, absolutely number one game changer for growing recurring revenue. So let's get into the business model. I'm just conscious of time. I don't want to keep you here late, girlies. So this 10K in 90 days, what does it look like? We start off with a free social media, email, lead magnet. It could be a community, it could be a Facebook group, a school community. It could be if you're a local business, you know, you're running a clinic. It could be that your community is all your clients. Yeah, they come in. People that are in your audience. That is all of what we've got on this baseline free community. Yeah, we've all got it. It's what you build every single day with your content. We've all got that baseline in place. And so then what we've got here is we've got low ticket things, which could be a micro program like a sprint. It could be a self-study or self-paced course. It could be a low ticket membership. Then we've got a mid-ticket group up here. Doesn't have to necessarily be a group. It could be a mid-ticket course. It could be a mid-ticket membership because you can have high-ticket memberships, but it mid-ticket. And then up here, we've got high ticket, which is usually a one-to-one, a group, a retainer, a personalized or bespoke package. Okay. So I'm going to go through each one and give you some sort of pricing guidelines. So for this step of your business model, I would say between 17 and 197 is where you're looking at. And that could be, like I said, self-study, course, a sprint, could be an instant access masterclass. I've got a few like instant access masterclasses that are like 27 quid. Watch the replay of a masterclass that I did that was highly valuable. It could be a 12-month evergreen membership. So there's lots of different things that you could have at this level. One thing that's working really well at the moment is things like trackers, spreadsheets, banks of hooks, banks of captions, carousel templates. I've got a packaged up like funnel email sequence, a full end-to-end funnel email sequence that sells really well. Things that save people time. Yeah, people will buy tools and resources that save them time. Okay, so that's what I would recommend at this area of your business model. And then we've got, as you can see here, the arrow. We could upsell these people to a mid-ticket group, and what that could look like is 297 to 197 as a paid in full option. It could be more than that, but I'm just giving you, you know, these are not like, don't go outside these lines. I'm not saying this is hard and fast. I'm just giving you a rough guideline to play with. So it could be 297 to 1997 paid in full. It could therefore, if you wanted to offer payment plans, and you don't have to, by the way, but it could be 297 times by 6 months, 497 times by 4 months, 333 times by 3 months. And this is a really common price point for things like memberships, 97 a month or 997 pay in full. Yeah, so if they pay over 12 monthly payments, it's 97, but they save a bit if they pay in full. And this mid-ticket area, it could be a cohort group, it could be an evergreen, it could be self-study. I have all three of these in this price bracket in my business model. And the arrow now, we've got a downward arrow. Because if somebody was to join an offer like this with you, they may well want to downsell into, let's say it was a membership. Let's say they come and do a 4 month cohort group with you. They come and learn something specific. And afterwards, they're not ready to leave your world. And so you downsell them into your evergreen membership for accountability. That's one way that this downsell could work. It could be that you sell this offer to somebody who says, oh, I'd love to say yes, but I just don't feel like it's the right thing for me. It's not the right time for me. I don't have that money, whatever the reason. And you say, okay, no problem. Why don't we start with a self-study course? Why don't you start with my membership? We can always talk about this at a later date. Yeah, so you could have this downsell opportunity so that no inquiry hits a dead end. Yeah, every inquiry you get has got somewhere to go. Then you've got your high ticket offer, which could be 500 to 3,000. I mean, it could be 50,000, like depends on how much of an expert you are. Yeah, like it could be a 50 grand program. My one-to-one is 40,000. Yeah, so like you could be working up to a level of expertise where you command a really high ticket price. If you do some done for you stuff in your business, whereby, I've got agency clients who sell like 10 grand a month retainers. Yeah, so there's no ceiling to this really. So it could be 500 to 3,000 on a monthly payment plan. So paying you 500 a month, paying you up to 3,000 a month, or it could be paid in full 5 to 15K. But like I say, there's no ceiling. It could be any amount. Yeah. And this could be a one-to-one coaching program, could be done for you, could be a retainer if you're an agency, could be a package, could be a beauty package. Lots of different things that you can do at this high ticket, very bespoke, very luxury end of your business model. Could be a 6 month or a 12 month offer. And if it's a group, please, please, please make it evergreen. Please make it evergreen, right? This is my favorite way to scale a business. Package your expertise into an evergreen group of 6 or 12 months, and your recurring revenue will grow with ease. Okay. Build a funnel to sell it for you, and it will grow even more easily. So, this is what your business model should look like. Now, I say the word should very lightly because if you are just starting out in your business, please do not think that I'm telling you to go away and build all this stuff, because you don't need to. Yeah, you don't need to. I would say build what feels the most important and the easiest for you, the most fun for you first. I was recommended when I started to build from the high ticket down, and that's what I did. What I did when I started my business, I I spent a little bit of time trying to do it by myself, and that didn't go as well as I hoped. And then I invested £15,000 on the 6th of January 2022. I was scared to death. It was a Sunday night. I messaged my mentor and said, finally, I'm ready. Send me the link. I sent her £15,000 in full, literally paid it in full, didn't tell my husband, sat in my office, in the room I'm in right now, actually, shaking in my shoes, thinking, what have I done? But on the day that I did that, it was a Sunday night. I remember it was dark. It was January, dark and, gloomy. And I was like, it's go time. I just feel it. I just know that this is the woman who's going to get me there. I'm ready. Let's put 15 grand in the pot and see how quickly I can make that back. By the end of January, I'd made £33,000. And I did it because I developed a high ticket one-to-one that I priced at 5,000, and then I sold it with a beta discount. So I said, my one-to-one, which will help you achieve, I gave the program promise of that one-to-one. And I said, but right now I am offering a 50% saving. As long as you come and join me in this one-to-one and you agree that I can use your results as a case study, you will get a 50% saving. I will showcase you at the end. We will both get glory out of this, and I will pour my heart and soul into helping you get results because you're my case study and I want nothing more than for you to succeed. And so this is a partnership. And I sold £33,000 worth of coaching in less than a month. Okay, so it is possible. And that's where I started. So I don't want you to think if you're just starting out, you've got to build it all. You could do what I did and you could start up here, or you could say, no, Rach, I want to build my authority. I want to build a sprint. I want to, like, one of the early groups I did was a 3-week sprint and I ran it 7 times. It was a 21-day sprint. I ran it 7 times and it built my authority. Yeah, because I ran it 7 times, my audience kept seeing, wow, she's running that thing again. And every time I ran it, I had about 20 women join it, and it really built my authority. And every time I finished that sprint, I sold women into a mid-ticket program. Okay, so you don't have to do all of this at once. You could do it step by step. The big thing I really want to get across to you is the ascension, yeah, the growth, the movement up this business model is about proximity. So how close people get to you. You don't offer the same level of proximity in your low ticket stuff as you do in your high ticket. Yeah, obviously. When somebody works with me on my one-to-one for 40,000, or when somebody comes and joins my mastermind, they get me. They fully get me. Yeah. And the people at this level, they still get me. They just don't get as much proximity. They get a different delivery. Yeah, they get a different style of delivery. They might get pre-recorded videos, they might get templates, they might get worksheets. But at the high ticket end, they're getting me on calls, they're getting me voice noting every day. Yeah, so I want you to think about with your pricing the level of proximity that people get to you and also their desired result. You are never selling time, ever. Write that down, circle it. You are never selling time. Even though you could look at this business model and say, well, my high ticket clients get more of my time. That is most likely going to be true. You are never selling time. You are always selling proximity or desired result. Okay. So I promised that I would be transparent. My mastermind girlies love it when I share this. I don't know if any of you are here, but I know we were talking about this the other day. You love it when I give you this graphic because this is my business model. Okay, so I have got down here, I've got my free social media emails. I've got my podcast, yeah, which we create a new podcast every single week. Then in my low ticket area, I've got my content club, £33 lifetime access. We sell it through a funnel. We have paid ads to the funnel and we bring in 2 or 3 new members every single day. Yeah. And then we've got the upsell. Some of the ladies from Content Club have already joined the collective, which is my sales breakthrough program for 3 to 10K months. We sell it through funnels, through loyalty offers, and through the occasional live launch. Then we've got an upsell into the mastermind. Yeah, which is where girlies come to hit 20 to 50K months, to work on evergreen groups, to work on funnels. And again, we sell it through a funnel, we sell it through a loyalty offer. Then we've got my millionaire mastermind, which is invite only, 10 people only. You'll never see me really talking about that much on social media because it's invite only. And then you've got the really high ticket stuff, which is one-to-one and VIP days. So you've got that natural ascension, as I was talking about, based on proximity and based on desired result. Desired result, help me with my content, get me out of this like blank page issue that I've got. I never know what to post. I never have the right copy, my messaging is rubbish, nobody buys anything, help me, give me content that works. That's the result. And then, okay, got my content working, got some leads coming in. Now I need some sales consistency. Now I need to grow. Now I need to build my recurring. Now I need to build that strategic foundation, because really I want to grow it up to here. Nearly every woman that joins the collective says to me, my real goal is to get into your mastermind. And I love that. Yeah, because I love ambitious women. Yeah, so you've got this upsell, 3 to 10K months, 20 to 50K months, all the way to a million. And these people pay for proximity. They could have any goal, doesn't matter. Any goal they want, they're paying for proximity. Yeah. Then you've got over here, I run 2 retreats a year and in-person events, and they tend to sell into my one-to-one and VIP days, my millionaire or my other mastermind. Sometimes they sell into the other things, but generally those things sell into higher ticket stuff. Then I've got my funnel mini mind, which is running at the moment, and those women tend to flow into the mastermind. And then I've got micro offers and like self-study, £17, 27, 33, 44, 47, all the price points. And those things are seeded very heavily inside those offers. Seeded, come and join the content club, come and join the collective. Are you focusing on building a funnel right now? Come and do the funnel mini mind next time I run it. Everything is seeded, everything makes sense. I call my business model a plate of spaghetti, because generally once people get in it, they ain't getting out very easily. And nor do I want them to, and nor do they want to. I had the most loveliest message today. Someone said to me, Rachel, you are so rare in this online space because you genuinely care about us. And that literally like put a lump in my throat, because I do. I want to build a plate of spaghetti. I want to build loyalty, because my goal is to impact 100,000 women. I want to help 100,000 women. I want to create 100 millionaires. Yeah. And so I need my business model to be sticky. I need it to be loyal. I need it to work on retention and upsell. Yeah. And that's why when I build funnels, I'm always thinking about reverse engineering and how do I move people to a space that's right for them. This is not about me just building my business. This is about me building a community where every woman who has a goal to make more money and build a life of freedom has a space where she feels supported and where she feels at home and where she can access the resources for the level that she's at. Yeah, I want to meet my clients where they're at, not try to force them where I want them to be. And so, what I would encourage you to do, girls, is think about your business model in this way. And like I said earlier, you don't have to build this all. Please do not take this as me saying, I do it like this and you have to too. Yeah, you definitely don't. You can do it your own way. You don't need all these things. But what I would recommend is that you take the principles of this. You don't have to take the exact thing, the exact model, but take the principles of it. Okay. So now the what's the French? Is it pièce de résistance? Is that what they say? I don't know what the word is, but this is the income calculator. So this is how it works. I'm going to make that a bit bigger for you. So this page is where you get clear on what your offers are, what the price points are, and what volume you want to sell at. Okay, so I've just put some examples in. When you get your copy of this, I will email this out. You'll be able to go file, make a copy, make your own version. Don't be coming over here and asking me to give you access, because I can't, because then you would be editing everybody else's version. You need to make your own version, right? So go new, make a copy, and then that will be your own personal version. And then what you'll be able to do is say, right, what are the offers that I want to sell? And, are they pay plan? Are they pay in full? Categorize them, put a price, get clear on how many payments you will receive. Then get clear on what volume of each you will sell. So, for example, this works on this £1,000 times by 6 offer. I'm going to sell 3 of, and therefore there's a formula here. Look, up there, you can see a formula. Because there's three of them, it says 3,000. If I change that to 4, it would say 4,000. Yeah, so you can play with the formula. This one is a mid ticket. I'm going to sell 5 of those. This is a low ticket, pay in full, sell 2 of those, 4 of those, 5 of those, and the revenue then feeds down here, and this comes to 5,182. Okay, so if I was to sell this mix of offers, yeah, that is, how many is that? 19 of these things. Yeah, there's 19 things there that I've sold, and these are the price points. This is how much money I would bring. Now, we're here to make recurring revenue. And so we need to show what this looks like when it recurs. Yeah, we need to show these 6 payments flowing in over time. And so that's what this second tab is. So if, this is where I show you how you do it in 90 days or less. If in month 1 here, I sold 3 of an evergreen group that was £1,000 a month, and that £1,000 was a 6-month group program, and that £1,000 recurred for 6 months. And because I sell 3 of them, there's 3 separate lines for 3 separate clients. And I was to sell a mix of my low ticket stuff, yeah, which doesn't recur because it's pay in full. The bit that's grayed out is month 1. Yeah, all this is month 1. That is how much we make. Down here, look, 18,517 in sales, because each one of these is 6,000, and then you've got your one-off. Okay, then because this is a recurring plan, we're going to need in month 2 to sell some more. So here's 3 sales again. This is 3 new clients in that evergreen group, spending 6,000 per client, recurring over 6 months. And then here I've just put an example. There's just under 5K's worth of revenue there, and there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 customers buying something that lasts for 3 months at 333 a month. So this could be a 3-month cohort group to teach something specific with a program promise that's worthy of £1,000 price tag. Okay, and we're selling this all in month 2, and the payment plans recur and the one-off payments don't, right? So all of that is month 2. Then we have month 3, and when you have this for yourself, you'll be able to take out my colors, take out my numbers, and put in your own plan. Yeah, in month 3, we're going to do the same. We're going to sell 3 more of our evergreen group, and we're going to sell some low ticket pay in full stuff that doesn't recur. In month 4, we're going to do the same. 3 evergreen group. We're going to do our little cohort again because it was fun, and we built a bit of a wait list. So we ran it in month 2, and we're going to sell it in month 4. Could be same, could be a different topic. Month 5, we're not going to do our little cohort. We're just going to do 3 of our evergreen group. Same again in month 6. And then obviously I filled it out for 12 months just so that you had a template. When you come down to these totals, girls, this is what it looks like. After month 1, you had cash 3,517. Yeah, you made a lot more in sales because the sales is all of it. But sales don't pay the bills. Cash in the bank pays the bills. So cash in the bank is only the first month of our payment plans and our pay in fulls. Month 2, we did the little cohort. So it's not double, it's a double and a bit more because we did the cohort and we get the first month of those payment plans. And by month 3, we've got 11,209 in recurring cash. Recurring cash in the bank. How would it feel to start each month knowing that you had £11,209 of cash in the bank. Payment plans. Now, obviously, payment plans are not guaranteed because there are naughty people who sign up for payment plans and don't go through with them. That does happen, not going to lie. If you're offering payment plans, you're going to get some of those. And you need somebody like me close by to be able to help you with your T's and C's and what to do if that happens so that you don't get stung for loads of cash. It does happen, right? But that doesn't mean that we shouldn't do payment plans. There are things like Klarna that you can offer at the checkout to help you to avoid that. You could also have like debt collection agencies. You can have a team member who chases debt for you. It's not a massive thing, but it does happen. Okay. But this is what your monthly recurring could look like. Now you can see as the year goes on, the monthly recurring, it grows and it grows and it grows. Okay. Now, how would it feel to know that that is how your income looked? That is going to settle your nervous system. It's going to make you feel calm. And what really is going to happen here is you're going to put your effort into selling these three high ticket things. And the people that are buying these, they're buying them from your stories, from your link in bio. Maybe they're buying them from your email list. Maybe they're buying them because you put a call to action on the back page of a carousel post. And when people are inside these pay in full offers, you're seeding your higher ticket things. So maybe these three sales are these people. Three of these people make these three sales. Okay. I hope this makes sense, girls. So let's come back to our slides. That's your income calculator. I've made that for you. My gift, you can have it. Obviously, you're going to have the replay of this video so that you can remember how to use it. But just to bring this to a close this evening, I've got some questions for you to lock in your next steps. So, what will be your signature offer to drive your income generation and build your brand? Yeah, what will be the thing that you build your brand around that drives your income? On that spreadsheet, it would be that monthly payment, that big higher ticket thing. What is that going to be? Write it down on your notepad, get clear, get aligned, get excited about it. If you already know what that is and you already have that offer, brilliant. If you don't have that offer yet, let's start thinking about what that could be. How many of your signature offer would you need to sell to hit 10K, 20K, 30K? Yeah, depending on what your goal is. Once you've got this calculator, I want you to work that out. Know how many you need to sell. You don't want to be shooting in the dark. You want to get very clear, very strategic. How many do you need to sell? And then what would that look like split into pay in full, split into payment plans? Now, typically, you'll see about a 50-50 split. Yeah, you'll see a 50-50 split. 50% of people usually opt for a payment plan, 50% roughly pay in full. That's what I've seen over the years. Next question. How could you align your favorite way to sell to this style of business model? So if you love to live launch, maybe you're an extrovert, you're a bit of a Duracell bunny like me, all the energy, and you're like, yeah, I want to do a live launch. How could you align this business model to that? If you love a bit of a data geek like me, I'm a bit of all the things. I love getting my head into my funnel data and seeing what's converting and what I can do to optimize it. What is your favorite way to sell? Do you love going live? Do you love face to camera in your stories every day? What is your favorite way to sell? And how could you align this business model to your favorite way to sell? Next question. What is the number one thing that stood out to you? And maybe this is what we'll cover in our Q&A, right? I'd love to hear your feedback. What is the number one thing that stood out to you as the biggest gap in your growth strategy? And based on that, what do you feel right now is your most important next step. Based on the fact that I shared earlier on that your business model is the foundation of your success. Nothing else works without the right offers, priced and positioned. That is your foundation. So if you see a gap right now, you see something missing, you see an opportunity, what is the next best action that you could take in order to plug that gap? Okay, so next steps. First next step is I'm going to invite you to complete a free business assessment tool. This is a quite detailed assessment, although there's a lot of multiple choice, so it doesn't take you ages to fill it in. But if you're going to want to get my advice on your business offer, offer suite, then you're going to need to spend a little bit of time giving me some detail because I can't assess what's not there, right? I can't guess. And so you're going to need to fill it in as best you can to give me some information so that I can support you. Yeah, because step 2 is once I receive your free business assessment, then you will get feedback from me within 48 hours. Now, if you're already in a program with me, you don't need to do this, right? You don't, because you've already got access to me in our community, right? So if you're already in a program with me, if you're here from the collective, the mastermind, the Get Clients Accelerator, the Funnel Mini Mind, you don't need to do this because you've already got me on speed dial, right? Step 3, I will then craft a personalized plan for me to support you, yeah, based on what you tell me. So I call this business assessment the Boss Your Business assessment. And that's because it's broken into 4 areas. The boss is a model. B stands for blind spots. I will tell you what your blind spots are. O stands for opportunities. I will tell you what your biggest income opportunity is. The first S is systems. I will tell you where I think your best next system could be. And the second S is for sales. I will tell you how, from what you've told me, what your best sales plan could look like. Play into your strengths, play into your energy, the way that you want to build your business. Yeah, so you fill out the tool, you get feedback within 48 hours. I will then craft a personalized plan of what it could look like for me to support you. We then agree your income goal and strategy to get you there. And step 5 is we just freaking go, right? We lock in a start date. I get to mentor you. I get to support you. You get to celebrate results. We do it together. Okay. So that is an opportunity for anybody who feels like this has unearthed some things that you want to get my advice on. Yeah. Now, if I was to invite you to work with me, it would be in one of 2 places. It would be inside the Infinite Abundance Collective, which is my 6-month sales breakthrough program. And if that was the best fit for you, there is a 50% saving on that until Monday at 5 p.m. Okay. It may be that the Infinite Abundance Mastermind is the best fit. That is where we focus on building evergreen groups and sales funnels. That's where the goal is 20 to 50K months. It depends on where you are now and how big your goal is. The mastermind has lots of different ways of getting support. So it is a mix of online. You get every single program that I run, which is why I call it an inner circle mastermind. Every program I run, you get. You also get in-person strategy days with me, and you get the option to include a retreat. So the next retreat is in Devon, where I live, in March, the end of March. We've got a funnel building retreat for 2 days. Or we've got Dubai in November. So if you are loving the idea of being on retreat, you want to come and hang out with me in the spa in Devon or in Dubai in November, then maybe the mastermind would be the best fit. But based on what you tell me in the feedback, in the assessment tool, we can obviously chat about what would be the best way forward. The mastermind is application only. The collective has got that 50% saving until Monday. So just a little recap. What I've shared with you in this session today is a proven strategy. It's tried, it's tested. I know, I can guarantee that what I've shared with you will build your monthly recurring revenue faster than anything else. And I know because I've done it. Okay. You are invited to take this business assessment, but only take it if you're going to fill it out properly. If you're going to give me one word answers, like because you're going to do it either too quickly or you're just curious what I'm going to say, if you give me one word answers, I can't say very much because there isn't much to assess. Yeah. So I need you to give me some detail. So if you are going to fill out that assessment, I will pour my heart into giving you personalized advice, but I can't guess, right? So you're going to need to really commit to that process of the assessment. And if you're sure that you want to work together, then just message me on Instagram. If you know now, Rachel, everything that you've said tonight makes so much sense. I've been overcomplicating it. I've been stressing myself out. I've been wasting time. I'm fed up with low income. I deserve to be paid more. And you just want to message me on Instagram and for us to just dive straight into a chat, then please just message me on Instagram. That's what I'm there for. And then everything that we've talked about tonight, I am going to send you by email. Okay. I'm literally, when I come off this, I will download the replay, get it all emailed out to you so that you can watch it back and really start focusing on your offers, how they link, how you sell, you upsell, you downsell, all of the stuff we've talked about tonight. So I'm going to email it out. I'll email you the calculator, everything you need, I will email out to you. Okay. And that, my darlings, is it.